I was meant to be. Living free, living free, living free, and I was meant to be. I'm living free, living free, living free, and I was meant to be free, meant to be free.
Hi everybody, welcome back to episode 8 of our artist interview series. Today I'm joined by Nicoleta, who is a pianist. And welcome, Nicoleta. Would you like to start by just telling us about yourself?
Hello, thank you. It's my honor to be part of this artist series, and thank you in advance. So I'm Nicoleta. I am a pianist and a piano teacher, and I'm from Cyprus. That's why you can see I have the accent. So actually many people ask me where is Cyprus. So Cyprus is an island close to the Mediterranean. So we speak Greek. And so I started playing the piano since I was 4, I think, years old. And then I started learning professionally how to play it when I got a little older. So where shall I start from? Shall I start from my, what exactly should I start from?
So what was it like growing up where you grew up?
Amazing. Okay. So we have lots of amazing sandy beaches, which is it's a distraction from practicing the piano, which is not always a good thing. But yes, so it's really Greece and Cyprus, because we speak Greek as well. It's a combination of both historic traditions and beautiful landscapes combined with fun things to do. For example, amazing crystal clear sandy beaches that you should definitely visit and come and see. And but the food is great. I hope the people were nice. So you should, it's an amazing place to be born, to be honest. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, that sounds so amazing. I've actually always wanted to visit around that area.
You should definitely visit. Yes.
When you were growing up, did you have access to different musical programs, or how did you get interested in playing piano?
So when my mom always wanted her little daughter to learn how to play the piano and to know how to speak French. So just to please my mom, I did both. So I started playing the piano since I was little, and then I got inspired by classical music because since my early childhood, I have been listening to classical music a lot. But the traditional folklore nuances of Greek music is a major part of our culture as well. However, I stuck to classical music because I think there are if you know the technique of classical music, then you will be able to expand in different other genres as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Classical music is so beautiful, and I'm sure that starting with something that complex has helped you throughout, your career. So you have two pieces that you're going to share with us today, but there's one that we looked at before that's going to be first. So do you want to say anything before that?
Yes, so the first piece is actually, so I graduated, so I decided that I wanted to become a professional pianist. So I left Europe and I came to the US when I was 18 years old. So I auditioned at Boston Conservatory at Berkeley, where I got accepted, and it was my dream school. So I graduated from Boston Conservatory at Berkeley that merged with Berkeley College of Music, spring 2021. And then this is part of my senior recital that I have to submit in order to graduate. So you will see I played, I have played two pieces. The first one that I think is the one that we are going to play today is the one that is, it's Beethoven Sonata, and it's a beautiful one. It's Opus 109. And then the second piece of the program was a collection of 6 pieces composed by Rachmaninoff. And it's the stories behind the piece is just in both pieces are real beautiful. So I hope you enjoy it and you get to learn more things about these composers through their compositions.
Okay, thank you. Let's listen.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to my senior recital. My name is Nicoleta Savvidou. Today I will be playing Beethoven's Opus 109 Sonata, and it's in E major. And this sonata is developed based on a lyrical, dramatic feeling. We can see Beethoven's voice being highlighted throughout the piece, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
that was really wonderful, and I love your technique. I love the way that you feel into your instrument, and it was just, I could listen to someone play piano all day. So that's really enjoyable.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Of course. With piano, I know for me that it's a foundational instrument, and it's really good for learning theory. It's good for learning like how to move your fingers and when to move your fingers. I just feel like it's so foundational. And what's something that you love about piano? What made you stick with that?
So except from the fact that I studied it since I was little, and it was the instrument that I could communicate the most, I think it's an instrument that in all the other musical instruments majors at college or at school in general, you are required to know. Because it involves, you can play more things. So, for example, you can play harmonies that you can play when you're playing like a solo instrument, another solo instrument, for example, the flute. So playing the piano requires both hands. So we use the left hand and the right hand. So by that as a power, you can like compose and you can improvise and you can learn pieces with like different harmonies and more embellished nuances.
Absolutely. What's something that you'd like to improve upon as a musician?
I think it's if you are an artist and you believe that you know everything, I think that's a wrong sentence. So I'm trying to improve like day by day my musicianship, and I think it's improving your musicianship is part of improving who you are and who you want to become, and you becoming more mature day by day, and through the experiences in life you're evolving as an artist as well. So definitely I'm working on my technique every day. That's why I'm requiring from all my students to at least practice every day, because if I'm practicing and if amazing artists, stellar professionals are practicing, then means that we are all need to practice and we need to keep up with what we have to do every day. And sometimes you don't want to get into the practice room, and it's just totally acceptable. It's just the discipline behind what you want to do and what you have to do. It's one of the important, I think, tools in order to be a successful artist in general. And at the same time, it's very interesting to see, because who is a successful artist, or what is it like? How can we define success in art? I think like one of the most important things is being able to communicate with your audience and share your story and with your audience and with your colleagues, and yeah.
Definitely. And I love the way you said that about improving as both a musician and a person. And I know that you said that classical music has inspired you before, but what are some of your other influences?
I love listening to jazz music a lot. So I to be honest, I listen to everything. I listen to jazz music. I listen to pop sometimes. I listen to folk music as well. Greek music, it depends. I'm mostly familiar with classical music because this is what I have been doing for many years now. But I think it's important to know about like other musical languages as well, because many people think that, oh, jazz is an improvisation, so it's like it's going to be more free. It's going to be like different. Of course, it's like a different musical language. So sometimes classical musicians have like a little struggle to understand another language like jazz or pop. So I think knowing both or at the same time getting familiar with another musical language is important to develop as an artist as well.
Yes, and that makes you very diverse as a musician, and that's wonderful. What are some of your hobbies as well? Some things that you like to do for fun other than music?
I love ballet dancing. So I used to dance ballet for 10 years. So I had to choose whether I should continue as a professional ballet dancer or I should continue piano. And I have chosen piano because I love piano more, a little bit more. So I love ballet dancing. I love hiking, being outside close to nature. It helps me like discover the beauty of living in general. And I love walking. And I love petting our little pet, our little dog that we have. So it's a fun thing to do.
What kind of dog do you have? I'm curious
We
now.
have a little, so my roommates and I, we have a little Pomeranian one. So it's just so fluffy and so small. So it's a good distraction outside of the professional life and work life and general studies in school.
That's amazing. You have the second video too. Did you want to say anything before that?
Yes, actually, that video it's a Bartok piece, and it's inspired by different, like it's a completely different structure from the first one. We can see Bartok using the more like the structure and the sound as a power to talk through his composition, and it's the third movement of a collection of 4 movements, and it's a very dynamic piece, and I hope you can understand and get through this dynamic through this video.
All right, I'm excited. Let's listen. I love that one, especially because, like you said, it's very dynamic. There's a lot of things happening. And I'm just watching your fingers. I'm like, oh my goodness, how is she doing that? But it's such a beautiful piece because it all comes back together. And I think that's what makes piano so beautiful.
Yes, you're so right. And I think in general, it's like it depends of the format of the piece or the form of the piece. It depends how we like the composer structure it. So it's really fascinating to see that he's actually playing with different motifs and bringing the thematic ideas back at the end, as you said. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an unspoken language that it's a message, and that's so beautiful. About your students. So let's talk about some of your students. What does a typical lesson look like for you? An hour or 30-minute? What's your structure?
So it's very interesting because it depends. I cannot exactly say that I will start with this, I will start continuing with this, because it depends on my student needs. For example, I have students that they want to pursue music in the future as well. So then the structure becomes a little different. We are more focused on specific things that we gotta work in order to achieve what we want to achieve. But in general, I love to see what the student wants to achieve. For example, if the student wants to be more professional, or the student wants to just play music just for fun, then we have to establish from this very first lesson what we want to do through this instrument. We want to play a specific piece. We can set a specific goal, and then we're working every lesson towards that goal. And that's why And of course, I think that's the most important thing, is to combine both technique, learning how to play it, but learning, how to make it sound amazing. So that's the musicality part. So I think both technique and musicality is important to have the necessary tools in order to be able to learn how to read the music as well, how to play the piece, and how to make it sound as beautiful as you want, as you can. And so it depends on every student, and it depends. But definitely a combination of both musicality and technique is an important. And I think my goal as a teacher and instructor is to help them through this instrument, somehow get familiar with the musical language and express themselves through the power of the arts.
Yeah, and it sounds like they have an opportunity to learn pretty much anything that they want to learn through this instrument. That's really exciting. That's super exciting.
It's
What are
really...
some... Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to highlight that I totally agree with what you were saying.
Oh, absolutely. What are some opportunities on that note, like some opportunities that you want to offer your students?
Well, I think I am not the one who is offering the opportunity, but the art of playing the piano is the one who is offering the opportunity, because I think being able to have this instrument in front of you and being able to express, say a story, say a message that you want to share at the same time with your audience is one of the most important tools. And especially nowadays that we live in a world where we are always running towards things, we are just running to go to work, we are running towards different things. I think music is the place that keeps us grounded, and it helps us understand who we are and who we want to become. So I think having the opportunity to play through different pieces, compositions. So for example, if a student doesn't know how to read music, by helping them learn how to read music and go through different levels of pieces, then you will understand that you will be more familiar with that language, and then you will start in the process of developing your ideas on the piano. And so I think you can achieve that through different opportunities, as you call them. We can achieve that through different recitals, exams for certificates, or recordings, and different other mediums that can help the individual student.
Beautiful. Yes, I love the way that you're saying this and explaining all of it. So you have both in-person and online students, or do you have online students? Which one do you like better?
I can't say exactly, because it's a different setting. So I just when you see an enthusiastic student behind your camera, and then you're inspired as well to help them develop their ideas and their musicianship and their technique. Obviously, working in person is of course better, because then you can play something, you can demonstrate to the student how to play things. But I think nowadays, especially that we are technologically developing the system, and in general, I think that having this power to be in any part of the world and have students through, for example, in other continents, it's an essential and important tool to use.
Yes, absolutely. Where are some of your students from? Do you teach from, like you said, different continents, or is it more local?
Yes. Now, since I'm in the US right now for the last 6 years, I have students that they're mostly in the US. But for example, I had to travel back to Europe a couple months ago. So in order for them to not miss their classes and their lessons, I was teaching remotely for a little bit. So I was back in Europe. And I think having that opportunity via Zoom, it's an important advantage to use. to have.
Yes, it definitely is. I know there's a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't have access to the music lessons, but in person is wonderful too, because I can imagine piano is such an instrument that you need to show someone, how to do it. And I know it would be hard for me to do it online. So, but yes, it's good to have the options for sure.
Exactly.
What do you tell your students to inspire them to practice? Because I know you were talking about technique and things, and you can be distracted. So there's all sorts of things.
There are so many ways. There are so many ways in order for you to be distracted, like devices, use of, all these social media platforms and all these things. So there are many ways that you could be distracted throughout your practicing. But I think that the most important thing, if all ages of artists, that they achieve something and they, through their performances, they manage to talk to their audience. I think if they are still practicing up to the age of 80 years old, then in our age and especially my students' age, they need to understand that it's an unlimited process of learning, and it's an endless process that you cannot ever say that you know already everything. So I think having that in mind, in the back of your head when you are practicing, it will help you only become a better artist and learn different things in order to improve yourself. And also I think that if you want to be able to express yourself through your instrument and to say a story, you need to have the basic technique, so that the technique will help you say that story, instead of when you cannot play that, when you cannot technically play that, you're somehow blocking your musicality. So I think in order for you to express some things on the piano and to sound the way you want to sound, you need to actually practice so that your technique and your musicality will be at the same level.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I can imagine it's such a gratifying process as well.
Yes, exactly.
Have you ever taught anything other than music, and how has it been different from teaching music? What makes it unique?
Wow. I have been teaching music. Music is my life. Literally, I'm waking up in the morning. I'm going to grad school right now, so I'm just surrounded by music every day. So I wake up in the morning. I'm going to my classes, seminars, workshops, performances, rehearsals. So it's every day it's something related to music. I haven't. I mean, I love maths. I love ballet dancing, but to be honest, I didn't have the chance to teach those fields. So, yeah, music it's mostly what I am doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a passion, and that makes so much sense. What has grad school been like for you, just out of curiosity?
Oh, with one word, it's so busy. Literally, it's we have so many things. But I'm doing my grad. I'm going to Longy School of Music of Bard College, so I'm learning so many things. It's a very beautiful environment and community to be part of, and the fact that we are collaborating with other artists that they have the same passion, I think, is it's an important element to keep you inspired and motivated to practice even more, but at the same time to evolve as an artist.
Yeah, yay! That's so exciting. I'm so happy.
Thank you.
What brought you to Lily Theater Company? What brought you here?
So we had a discussion. I did an application, and then Lily Dark, the director, called me, and she was like, "Oh, do you mind? We should arrange a Zoom meeting so that we will call and see how the process goes and learn more things about you before they accept us and everything." And I was so excited that we all both shared the same vision, that we wanted through music and through the arts to make a difference in the world, and we want to inspire young generations to somehow use this platform, this art form, to somehow become better as humans, as artists, as individuals, and learn that you can be anywhere in the world and you can still learn how to play the piano. You can still take music lessons, and at the same time you have the opportunity to develop yourself and communicate with the audience. So I think the fact that we both shared the same vision and the same ideas, it was one of the elements that I was like, oh, I love being part of this team.
Yes, such a beautiful vision. What is I know that you've done a lot of things and lots of performances, and this can be a piece of music or it can be an experience, but what do you think is your greatest accomplishment so far as a musician, pianist?
And then when that's a great question, because when you achieve something that you felt that it was so big, and then once you achieve it, you're like, okay, what's next? So you're always, it's a continuous process of practicing and learning. And so definitely my senior recital, it was sad that it was during the pandemic. So I didn't get to perform live, but I recorded it live. So it was an interesting process to learn how to record at the same time professionally and to play your music as well. So it was an hour of solo music, which is it's hard because you have to memorize it and all these parts. And plus you needed to edit it, so you needed to know how to structure the video combined with everything, all this engineering stuff. So I think also I'm learning right now like different other pieces that they are I think that they're hard as well, technically and musically. One of the pieces that I'm learning now is Goyescas by Granados, which is it's a masterpiece, and it's quite a challenge to get through what you want to say, having the technique and all these things. So I think I am very grateful that I am part of Vulongi as well, the community for my grad school, because I performed, for example, last week with my school's Orchestra Flex. We played new music, contemporary composers, and composers that they are not usually heard but easily in the concert halls. So I think that helped a lot. And discover different other, let's say, composers, and that I wasn't exposed to before. So every little piece, it's an important element in our journey as an artist, I think.
Definitely. And just going back to when you were talking about your audition, you played an hour without stopping, a whole hour?
So part of our senior recital, it was an hour of solo memorized music. Yes.
Wow, that is incredible.
Thank you. It was an requirement in order to graduate, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. I'm sure that took a lot of memorization and practice, like you said, technique practice, but that's amazing. I don't have any more questions for you, but is there anything else that you'd like to say or leave the audience with if anyone's interested in taking lessons?
Yes. So I thank you so much. Honestly, it has been so much fun talking about music and piano. I think, like, just to close with this sentence, I think that music, especially, it's a powerful tool to make people to help people express themselves, and at the same time share what you want to say, share a story, share a message with the world. So I think starting that from like an early age is an important element to help young generations to somehow be involved more in the arts and to be inspired by the power of classical music, jazz, and any other style of music. Because music is a way of expression. It's a way of somehow building and cultivating a better world. So I think that thinking that it's an important thing to have it in the back of our minds.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you and meeting you. And if anyone is interested in taking lessons with Nicoleta, you can email us. It's info@lilytheatercompany.org. You can go to our website, make sure to check out the podcast, the social media, YouTube Live, all of our different platforms. And thank you for watching, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you.